guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I'm here at Jerry Ulm Dodge in Tampa, Florida, and I have a question for you, and so does Dodge. Do you like to live your life 1/4 mile at the time? If so, Dodge has the perfect Challenger for you. This is a brand new Challenger RT Scat Pack 1320 edition. So let's talk a little bit about the Challenger. The Challenger has been around since 1970. It's that ultimate muscle car during the muscle car heyday. Over the years, things kind of changed, but you know what? Dodge did something huge back in 2008. They brought the Challenger back, and they brought it back in a big way. With this brand new Challenger Scat Pack 1320 edition, this is perfectly set up for the person who likes to go to the drag strip. Because if you're wondering, well, what is 1320? 1320 is 1,320 feet. That is the length of a 1/4 mile. With this Scat Pack 1320, you're gonna get some extra Mopar goodies. Because remember, at the end of the day, it's Mopar or no car. And if you've ever wondered, well, what does Mopar stand for? It stands for motor parts. Shorten it up, Mopar. Let's go ahead though, enough with the history lesson. Let's dive into this track-ready drag strip edition Challenger Scat Pack with the 1320. Off the bat, what's making this such a great seller, it's actually outselling the Camaro, believe it or not, for some of the first time in many, many years, are those retro muscle car lines. And I'm telling you right now, you get a Mustang, you get a Camaro, you get one of these next to one another, these look more like the original than any other one. I love the headlight design. You have that quad round headlight design with the LED daytime running lamps. This one is going to have the 2 snorkels that are functional. Remember, that's stuff that was learned from the Hellcat by hollowing out this headlight, bringing in more air to that massive V8, because underneath that hood, there's no replacement for displacement, 392 cubic inches. As we drift across the center section, I really love what they did when they did a light refresh to the Challenger. You have that oval shape, the Challenger script, classic name in the muscle cars to go up against the Chevelles, to go up against Mustangs and Camaros and old Cutlass 442s, so many of those great names. That is definitely one of them. As we drift all the way across to the side, you'll see another pair of letters, RT. That stands for Road and Track. That's actually a special handling package that originally was seen all the way back in 1970 on the Dodge Challenger. As we get to the other side, we have the other hollowed out headlight, so you have one on each side. We drop down, you have some LED fog lamps, and then I really like the way that they kept the same design, both bottom and top, with the front grille area, and then you're gonna have a medium-sized front splitter. The reason why I say medium is that if you want to supersize this, you can by going with the Hellcat, or definitely the Hellcat Red Eye. These here are not for style, guys. These are for shipping purposes. They're actually removed, or supposed to be removed, when PDI is done, pre-delivery inspection. But a lot of people keep these on, and it's becoming a styling icon that the people at Dodge say, please take them off, please. Go up onto the hood. One thing I want to point out is that you have the classic muscle car hood pins. Those were originally used to keep hoods shut as you were ripping down that 1/4 mile drag strip. This hood, very unique with the 1320, with the Scat Pack. I love the functional ram air in the center, and then you're going to get 2 functional heat extractors on both sides. Because remember, heat robs us of horsepower. Colder air is more dense, gives you a bigger boom, and that's going to give you more horsepower. One of the touches that I like is it even says Mopar. I'll have Tom kind of come back and show you Mopar actually engraved on both sides. Remember that old saying, Mopar or no car. That was the battle cry during the muscle car days of all the Mopar fans. Now, as we come around that classic fender, you're gonna get to a wheel and tire combo that is specific to the 1320. So this is flat black. This tire, super, super sticky, especially at the rear. It's only got 100 wear rating, tire wear rating, so you're not gonna get a lot of miles out of these, but 275 on the width, 40 series sidewall. As we come down, you can see the 4-piston Brembo calipers, and the rotors on the 1320 are actually a little larger in diameter. They're slotted and ventilated to give you some braking capability after you get down that 1/4 mile drag strip. Underneath the fenders, is some magic from the Dodge Demon. They actually took the adaptive dampers from the Dodge Demon and put it on this 1320. Also, everything's kind of been softened up a little bit for better weight distribution. Because remember, when you're sitting on the line, you're watching that Christmas tree, which that's what it's called. It's a Christmas tree, and you don't have to get any presents. The present is the car and the time slip at the end of the drag strip at the quarter mile. But with this setup, it actually allows that weight to transfer to the back to get the traction to the ground. Because if you're just spinning your tires, it may look cool, it may sound cool, you may make a bunch of smoke, but you're not going that direction. Love the setup though, and that suspension is going to help you. Now, as we go into the fender, you can see there's that iconic Bumblebee logo. This goes back all the way to the muscle car days with the Scat Pack 1320. Like I said, that quarter mile special edition. Everything's blacked out, no sunroof. Now, another thing that was borrowed from the Demon is you actually, when you buy this vehicle, if you're buying it, you know, ordering it special, you can get this standard with just a driver's seat. No rear seat, no passenger seat. Those can be added in, and that was something that originally was with the Dodge Demon, where it just came with a driver's seat, just the business end. Nobody else is coming along for the ride. This one though, $2, we got a passenger seat and a rear seat. We keep working our way back. Everything else is gonna be your classic Challenger lines, that retro style of muscle car. We get back to the rear, you can see those same 275s, still large calipers on the rear. You know, usually a lot of manufacturers, they go with single piston calipers, but you do have your dual piston caliper back here, and I'm telling you, I'll have Tom kind of swing it around and just show you the meat on these wheel and tire setup. Now, when we get to the back of the 1320, you do have that flat black kick-up spoiler. It looks like it was taken, like somebody went with a flux capacitor in a DeLorean and took this and brought it back to put on the new Challengers off the old ones. And then I absolutely love the taillight design. Full LED, really mimics the old look from the muscle car with the Dodge script. My only zonk are those exhaust vents. Can we get some quad exhaust? Does anybody at Dodge or Mopar make a quad exhaust anymore? They kind of look like large vacuum cleaners. And the diffuser is kind of simple setup, but you know what? This is about going down the drag strip. Let's pop the hood and see what's making it possible. All right, guys, we got the hood popped on this ultimate muscle car, this drag strip racer, the 1320. What you're looking at is a 6.4 liter V8 naturally aspirated, no supercharger. This is actually larger displacement than the engine on the Hellcat and the Hellcat Red Eye. 485 horsepower, 475 pound-feet of torque. You can have it through a 6-speed, or this one has an 8-speed automatic. MPGs, you're probably not worried about that, but 15 in the city, 24 in the highway. It weighs around 4,232 pounds. So that's really the challenge of this Challenger, is that it is a heavy vehicle and weight does not really help you at the drag strip. But what it does though, this 1320 with the 309 gears out back, does the quarter mile in 11.7 at 115 miles an hour, top speed 165, 0 to 60 in about 3.8 seconds. It does have line lock, it does have launch control, and like I said, that specially tuned suspension for the drag strip. If I was to zonk this, where I would be zonking is I wish it had the open air box like on the Hellcat and the Hellcat Red Eye, and also some color wouldn't hurt this particular engine. You know, orange is known as a Mopar color, a Dodge color. How about make this intake plenum bright orange? You do have the Powered by SRT, which is actually street and racing technology. That's what that stands for, that acronym. But some orange would go a long way. But why don't we get to the best part? Let's fire up this muscle car and see what it sounds like. All right, guys, we're inside this all new Challenger RT Scat Pack with the 1320 package. Remember, Hemi. You see Hemi on an engine, you see it on a Dodge. It's not like the old muscle car days where it actually had hemispherical heads, but it does sound cool because it's got so much tradition. Now, I know you're probably wondering, well, Joe, there's a lot of tradition here. There's definitely a lot of muscle. How much is this? This has an MSRP of right at $47,000. Let's see what you get for the money. Now, to the door panels, there's leather on the armrest with some contrast stitching. I don't like that cloth material, but hey, I'm gonna compare apples to apples, so smoke them if you got them. This is all about the drag strip, so I understand the cloth. Cloth is gonna be lighter than leather, but the material is soft, and this does have the upgraded Alpine sound system. One little bottle holder at the bottom, no place really for any snacks in the door. As you get to the dash, you have that elephant skin texture. They did give you a 1320 badge in here, which is a nice touch. And then I like the classic display of all the information here. Now, what's great is that you have this over 8-inch screen. It's actually 8.4-inch screen, that Uconnect system. I have my AC controls up because who wants to have a muscle car and sweat like crazy during the summertime? It's nice to be able to be cool, especially living here in Florida. We have our performance controls, Dodge performance controls that we could get into, your line lock, your launch control, everything you need for the drag strip. Now, here's a piece of advice from Joe Rady to you. If you do take this to the drag strip, they do have stickier tires, but there are tread blocks. There's tread on the tires. They're not full slicks. Do not put this car in the water box and do your burnout. It's gonna look cool, but what happens is little droplets of water will trap in those grooves of the tire. You go up to the line and you're sitting there, now you're gonna try to accelerate from a wet patch on the ground. So that's a little advice to make sure you turn that fastest quarter-mile time that you can. As we drop down, soft material, you got your start-stop button here. You have your radio controls. You can get into your drag setup. You just automatically hit the button, real easy to get to. You can shut that pesky traction control off. You have your AC. It is dual climate, so you're getting some nice touches here, even though this is a drag edition. 8-speed ZF 8-speed automatic transmission. Dodge says this shifts within nanoseconds. You got a little tray here for breath mints after you run down the quarter mile. This is smart. You got a little cargo net here. Actually take some blow pops, maybe some Tootsie Roll Pops, and then you have this guy here, a nice 12 volt, so you could run that radar detector, because I'm telling you right now, if you're driving this on a normal basis, you're gonna want a radar detector or they're gonna come and get you real quick. Leather all the way down, the stitch work. I even like the key fob. It's a little bland, but I do like the way they take the 1320 badge with the little bumblebee there, flip it around, you got remote start, you can pop the trunk, you can panic. That's really for your competitors, for them to hit. You throw them the key fob, you say hit it, because I'm about to smoke you. 2 cup holders, nicely softed armrests, nicely padded. Open this up, I know you can't see, but we have felt lining, so you're not gonna scratch those time slips after you're done going down the quarter mile. A 12 volt USB, an aux jack, and another USB. So 2 USBs and an aux jack and a 12 volt. Place for a couple Victory Twinkies, if you know what I mean. And then the seats, cloth. Now remember, these were added in. $1 for this one, $1 for the back seat. You have this houndstooth design into the seat. Very, very durable. Of course, all manual controls for ultimate lightness. No sunroof, but I'm telling you right now, you have plenty of room here to put a helmet on, because remember, at the drag strip, my advice, it's better to be safe than sorry. And you only got one watermelon. Do you really want to squish it? Why don't you get on over to the business side though? I want to show you where you're going to be squishing the competition behind the wheel. All right, guys, business end. What is a little confusing to me is that I would think they would want to try to lighten this car as much as possible. You do have power assist on the bottom, not on the back portion. The motors add weight. So that's where I'm just a little confused with the overall intention. Steering wheel though, I love the Alcantara material. That's gonna make sure you can grip it as you're going down the quarter mile. You got that classic Dodge name there, the Dodge brothers. Dodge has been around since 1900. Paddles. Now this is one of my complaints, is the paddles are like half paddles. It's like they save weight here by giving you a half paddle. I wish the paddles were larger and full metal and just a little bit more accessible. They're on the inside. I'll tell you right now though, if you're gonna run the fastest time, you're gonna do it. Well, you're not gonna do it. The ZF 8-speed is gonna do it all by itself, I promise you that. Dash has the classic look. but also has that 21st century feel. I love the LED display in the center. You could toggle through all sorts of information. Look at that, look at the gauges. Really, really cool. I absolutely love the setup in this Dodge Challenger RT Scat Pack 1320. It's just, if you're ever gonna tell somebody the name of your Challenger, take a deep breath, swallow, and then say it. But overall, the bolstering is pretty good on the side. Not too much bolstering on the bottom portion, but they're cushy. Let's go ahead and see how a passenger is gonna feel as you're ripping down the quarter mile. All right, guys, one thing about cars like these, Mustangs, Challengers, Camaros, they do have back seats, but how usable are they? I'm gonna go ahead and get in the back. If you're wondering what am I holding, this is my transmitter for my mic. I don't wanna squish it, but we're gonna go ahead. I move the seat forward. It's got a nice little handle here, and then we're gonna squeeze on back. It's actually quite wonderful. If you wanna be a backseat passenger, hopefully your person picking you up has a Challenger over a Mustang or definitely a Camaro, because you will be squished like a bug. Back here, I even have rear AC, tons of leg room. Let me pull the seat back here. We'll see if my legs break. I'll even put it back a little bit for you. There's even plenty of room. Look at this. Plenty of room back here. So think about it. Take 4 friends down the quarter mile. It's actually against the rules at most drag strips, but you can do it on the road. Let's go ahead, check out the trunk and see how much space we have back there for all the trophies we're gonna win. All right, guys, time to check out how many trophies can we fit in the trunk of the Challenger. You open it up and there's quite a large amount of room. Now, the only thing is that the opening is a little small, but once you get it past that, lots of space, and those seats will do the 60-40 Tango, and you could get those longer 6-foot trophies in there. But that's what makes this more usable than a Camaro. Mustang still has more cubic feet of space, but definitely nothing to shy about with this Challenger 1320. If you're ready though, I'm ready. Let's go ahead, smoke them, because we got them. All right, guys, we're inside the Challenger RT Scat Pack 1320. One thing I automatically love, and it's such a simple thing, is I love the Alcantara. Now, I know that these Alcantara steering wheels last about a week before they start showing wear, but I really don't care because it does have a nice feel to it. The thickness is right on point as well. Driving in normal traffic, the car purrs like a pussycat. That's the crazy thing about technology today, is that if you go back to the true muscle car days, those cars would overheat from time to time. They really didn't like traffic very much. But with the muscle cars today, and this really is the true epitome of a muscle car, more so than a Mustang or the Camaro. We're sitting here, I got the air conditioning on, seats are comfy, and I feel really good. Looking out the front, it's great. I can see the heat extractor, at least one of them, on the driver's side. I like the bulge in the hood. Out the back, the window glass is great. You don't even see that kick-up rear spoiler, so if you're worried about that, don't be. Side views are perfect as well. I'm just not the biggest fan of the texture of the door panels in the dash. It really does remind me of an elephant. Maybe that's a good thing. You know, elephants are majestic creatures, so this Challenger maybe is very majestic. It does almost weigh as much as an elephant, so that's one thing to think about. And that's really the crazy surprise in this thing, is that you would think that with the way the body lines are very traditional muscle car, it's not the most aerodynamic, but boy, did this car have get up and go, that's for sure. All right, guys, acceleration from a dead stop on throttle. You're losing traction because we're on cold tires, but boy, that traction control was working to get grip to the ground. And like I said, if a tire is spinning, it may sound cool, it may look cool, but you're not going forward. And that really is what's gonna kill your time. Now, obviously, if I was on a drag strip, I would have put heat into the tires, and I probably would have been a little bit more gingerly with the throttle. But for one thing for sure, it was fun and it felt muscle car good. And that's the thing, is that if you really want the car that's gonna get you down the drag strip, if you're not going Hellcat or Hellcat Red Eye, this car really, this Challenger 1320 really falls into a sweet spot because of the balance of that naturally aspirated engine. All right, guys, another launch from a roll. Here we go, on throttle. You really can feel the suspension working in your favor. They did a great job. The folks at Mopar did a great job tuning the suspension, softening it up. You don't want a super rigid car at a drag strip. You want some weight transfer, because weight transfer is going to happen one way or another. You want to use it to your advantage to get the power to the ground. The best part is driving around very, very smooth. That drag strip setup is actually going to make a more comfortable ride to your Challenger than a standard setup on a regular Scat Pack, which is nice to have, especially here in Tampa. On this particular road, there's a lot of cement. It's all cement pieces. It's got that airport runway sound to it. It really makes the ride nice and smooth, which is really great. Driving around, the wonderful news is that 8.4-inch infotainment system screen is great. You don't have as much to the performance pages as you do some of the other Challengers, like the Hellcat Red Eye and the regular Hellcat, but still nice to have those controls. On throttle though, really that 8-speed shifts very, very quickly. Definitely, if you want to get, like I said, the fastest quarter-mile time, it's going to happen with the ZF 8-speed automatic, but you can get a 6-speed. Let me go ahead. We're going to make a right here. Really smooth though, this thing. Definitely makes all the noises you want as a muscle car. That nice, loud sound from the naturally aspirated V8, 6.4 liters, 392 cubic inches. And you're getting a little bit of intake growl as well. Would it be nice to have the supercharger? Of course. I'm not going to say more horsepower right now wouldn't be more fun, but I think this really is a good bridge gap between going all the way out to Hellcat or just going standard Scat Pack, because of the setup for the drag strip and the look, the little touches like the hood pins and whatnot. But hopefully this gave you a nice roundabout feel to the Challenger 1320. We need to get back to Jerry Ohm Dodge, so I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, it's been a muscle car kind of day here at Jerry Ohm Dodge. I definitely got to thank J-Rod and the rest of the crew getting us access to this all-new Challenger RT Scat Pack 1320 edition. If you want the truest reincarnation of a muscle car, there's really no better way to do it than with any of the Dodge Challenger products. And if it's cars like these you want to keep seeing on the channel, leave a comment in the comment section. If you're new and you're on your way out, hit the subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile coming back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Radius Rise family. If you want to help us keep making great content just for you on the channel, click the link in the description, get yourself some Radius Rise merch. Got to give it up to Big Guns McGee. Remember, Muscle Car McGee comes out whenever we're around these types of cars. So thank you, Tom, for all that you do. And just like always, I'll see you on the next ride.